5 of building a shed. Well, I guess a milk barn. So what I'm doing over here is, wasp get away. We're putting these brackets on, and normally these brackets only come with 3 holes. But since this one is not into any wood because there's nothing to screw it to, I'm taking my drill and drilling a new hole right there, as seen in these other ones. It's a fairly straightforward process. You just move your jig out of the way and put a new one in. You sit down and you just drill. Until you have your hole. And I gotta do that 12 times. Yikes. Alright, so now that all our brackets are drilled, we can take them, slide them up underneath, like so. And then we'll take our nails and nail them in like that. And I would do that to show you guys, but I currently have one useful hand. So I'm gonna have to put the camera down and I'll show you guys once I'm done. Quick nail refill. So these are 2-inch nails, if I remember. Nope, never mind, they're 3-inch. And each bracket takes, I think, close to half a dozen nails. And there's 24 brackets going to go on the building. So it's a lot of nails. Well, actually it's 3, 6, 10 nails actually. 10 nails total for this bracket times 24. So it takes a while. I just have that bracket to finish, and then those 3. And then it's done. There. All of the brackets are nailed in and secured. Now I think I'll move on to putting that house wrap that rolls on top of my car and stapling it up underneath them floor joists, which is kind of going to be a sucky job because I don't know if you can tell, but it's very muddy down there. So I'm thinking I'm just going to take this 1/2-inch plywood and lay a piece of it down underneath so that when I lay down on the plywood, I don't get personally covered in mud. So then I can staple up that house wrap, then put this 3/4 plywood on top of it, insulate it, put poly for a vapor barrier, and then 3/4 inch plywood to get on top, and then hopefully that is the floor done. So I'll show you once I get the plywood under there how I'm gonna do so this. Scratch that for now. There needs to be a board running from there underneath this 2x6 to that skid. And this side, I use just a 4x4. Right, I don't know if you see it right here. But I don't have another 4x4. So I'm just going to cut 2 2x4s that are whatever distance that is from there. think it's like 89 3/4 or 90. I'm gonna cut 2 of those, nail them together, put it in there, and then I'll take some scraps and I'll put it in between these for strength, just like I have right there on that wall with the window. So I guess I'll get started. So I have my 2 2x4s marked and ready to cut. So I guess I'll just take my saw and start cutting and see how this goes. Okay, they're cut. 2 hands. Now I just got to put them one on top of each other. And I'm debating if I start the generator and compressor to nail it, or do I just like start screwing it to make it faster or shorter, however you want to think of it. I don't know. If I do nails, I might sink a couple screws in first just to compress this down. But I think I'll probably just stick to using good old-fashioned screws. I got some 4-inch ones. Put it on my drill. Well, I use impact. And just sink them in. See how this goes. Note to self, don't stick them into your table, because then you got to whip out your grinder and start grinding them away. She ain't pretty, but it's functional. Last screw, and then we can install it. Alrighty. So now I'll take that off, clean this up a bit, and then struggle my way through it to put the board we made under there, because it looks like it has drooped a bit right in the middle, right there. So this might be very interesting to put in there. All things considered, if it doesn't go well, I'll probably screw a board to the beam. Come on, right there. Probably 2 inches above the 2x6 that we got to screw that to. And then I'll run a screw to the bottom to suck it up into the board, so hopefully it'll get the bow out of it. But we'll see how this goes and we'll judge it from there. Alright, some shed thoughts. Wouldn't it be nice if they made 7 1/4 inch skill saws big enough to cut through 2 2x4s laminated together like this one? Because when I had to trim the end of it because it was just fitting in just a little too snug, I had to take my router and finish the job because it didn't feel like flipping it over to trim up the bottom. But I guess it won't be 7 1/4 inch after that. So if I needed a, let's just say 8-inch blade. Now this is kind of tricky. Lined up flush and screwed in. It's just a process. Come on. What are the odds I get this first try? Without even having to unscrew it and do it again. I'm thinking slimmed it down, but it's looking pretty promising. tools I just got are, I'm quite liking them. I bought them for this job specifically, but I will be using them lots for hopefully other jobs in the future. But that worked out really good. I might have to back that screw out to suck this in flesh because it's sticking out about a 1/4 inch. So I guess I'll do that right now. Other than that, it went pretty smoothly. Ooh, she's just smidgen tight. But I have a trick up my sleeve I learned off of other YouTube videos. I'll show you what I'm doing. So, you take your hammer, you take a screw, you screw it into the area that you want to do the same height as. So, there's a lip right here, and I want that to be flush with the side of this. So I'm going to take my hammer, slide it up like that, and if you see when I push down, it pushes the board in. So then I have a nice flush, like so. Problem gone. So now I can just screw this one back in. Come on. Bingo. So now it's way more strong. Because before, that 2x6 is just bowing. And we put two 2x4s on end, so this way. Because bending a board, come on, that way versus that way is a lot harder. So she should be pretty strong. And I'm thinking also I should probably cut another 2x8 to put in right here along this side, because I did the same thing. Come on, way down there. The things we got to do. My favorite part, running these 8-inch lags into my beam and then into that 4x4 I made out of 2x4s. That went well. It would be nice if my battery wasn't dead though. I don't. That is one thing I need to get more of eventually, is extra batteries for these things. Because currently I have this weird egg dip set where I have a Rigid Duo, a cheap Amazon adapter, and a DeWalt battery. And I have 2 of those. So, adapter, 6 amp DeWalt battery. These just slide on, come on, over top, like so. You take your tool that you want to put it on, and you slide that on top. Make sure you're going in correctly. And hold on. Hands. Alright, this works. Ouch. It's a weird abomination of a setup. Don't want to forget that. Like so. Alright, let's see if we can do more. Now, I wish I had a hat mount GoPro, but I don't, so I'm just using my phone. So let's see how much of a difference this makes. Okay, let's do this. Wow, that was way faster. And it would help if I kept the bit on the lag. But let's do another one. This is much easier if I had two hands. And forgive me about the terrible camera placement. Ah, come on. You know you want to. Now she is sturdy. That ain't going nowhere. Okay, so now I am going to put another 2x8 right in here. So it adds some strength to the floor. So now we got to measure 90 inches or 89 and a quarter, whichever works better. I think I'll go with 89 and a quarter or 13/16 because that 2x4 beam we made, I had to trim her a bit. All right, so 89 and 15, 13/16, roughly right there. Ouch. All right, take your speed square, put her on there, line her up with our mark half decently. Yeah, mosquitoes are bad. Should I put you guys down for a second while I hold the square and mark it? We'll see how this goes. Okay. Bugs are crazy. Okay. Okay, next time you see me, I might have this in place because this will probably need two hands to move. Alrighty, so that was way harder than it needed to be. So, if you can tell, these brackets need to go in there first, and then I can put the board in. But from this board to the top of this one needs to be 2.5 inches. So I had to do some weird calculations to get that in on both sides. And then to screw it in was pain because you had to take a hammer and beat it in the nails in that way. But eventually got her in, and I just screwed it from an angle like that to hold it in place because there's just these two screws in the bracket that are holding it in the bracket because there ain't no way you're getting a drill that's about yay wide in a gap that's only 5 fingers. So we're just gonna cross fingers and hope it holds. But now, shoot. Okay, we gotta put these in now. Actually, I was thinking we could do the paper that's on the top of my car over there, but no, we gotta do the cross braces right there. Okie dokie. So I guess I'll cut back to when I have them cut. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I'm taking my tape measure and I'm measuring between this point and this point, and that one was 10 3/8. So from here to here is 10 3/8. So I'll take my saw, I'll cut it at that, and I'll slide it in between these red lines, but I'll put it in on this side because I'm staggering it. Left side of the line, right side of the line, left side of the line, right, left, right. Exact like that. So then next one, I'll measure it from there to there, and I'll put it in. Measure, put in, measure, put in. And I do that from that side to this side, and I'm roughly halfway done. Yep. All right, I got them all done, and I put some extra screws in along that board there, just to hold it to the wall better. So now I just got to finish nailing these in because I put 2 screws in one end, and then on the other end I just put 1 screw. So it's just 1 screw, and then 2 screw, one there and one there. So I'm gonna go get the air nailer and just run 4 nails per side just to make sure it's extra strong. Because I feel like doing nails would be faster than grabbing 4 screws and slowly screwing it in. Holy cow, this is tough to get out of. But yeah, I'm just gonna start the gen set and turn the air pumpy thing on and quickly get those done because it is currently 6 o'clock. And I guess pack her up, head home, and have supper. And then until tomorrow. Yay! So I got it all nailed up. And I put another piece of plywood under there. So I'm just going to try and put this paper or this house wrap underneath all this and see how that goes. I have my staple gun, my Stanley staple gun over here. So just going to see how this works and go from there. Push your staples into the pocket. I guess crawl under this thing and try not to get overly too wet. I don't know. I do not see this going very well. Yep. I am currently underneath this milk barn, putting this house wrap on. It's like a breathable paper, so water gets to the floor, it'll drain through this. And now I'm just stapling it up. Come on, there we go. And it's a very slow process. I got, I don't know, a little less than half done. There's probably, I don't know, 14 inches of clearance. So it's pretty tight under here and it's slow going, but it'll get done eventually. And so it's currently 7:25, and I got all this white house wrap stapled on the bottom. That took a while. Yes, there's a gap here, but the reason for it is because the metal hangers, so I can't staple metal. So the plywood is just going to butt up against the bottom, and when it does so, the plywood is going to hit this beam, and in theory, it's going to like pull this snug to the beam. But now I just got to get insulation for the floor, put the insulation in, put some poly or AKA vapor barrier, and then I'm going to put my 3/4 inch OSB tug and groove on top. And then that'll be the floor. And then yeah, for the bottom, I'm hoping to get another sheet of this 1/2 inch plywood treated. You know, at least I think it's 1/2 inch. No, it's not half. Yeah, never mind, it's 1/2 inch. Yeah, so you get another sheet of this 1/2 inch stuff, and then the bottom and the top of the floor will be done. But yeah, I'm just cleaning up my tools, and I'm calling it a day. And yeah, I guess that is it for day 5.